Welcome to MTN Outdoors.
Hi there, welcome back to MTN Outdoors. I'm Tom Buchanan and I'll be your guide this week. Yellowstone National Park is one of the most popular places in the world to enjoy the splendor of the outdoors. That sanctuary saw violence last week at one of its most popular locations, injuring a park ranger and leaving one dead. MTN's David J. reports.
Whether it's a city park like Pioneer or a national park like Yellowstone, many turn to the great outdoors to get away from the stresses of life. And that's what makes what happened on Wednesday and Thursday at Canyon Village that much more disturbing. It happened in a place long known as a sanctuary from violence.
The Grand Canyon of Yellowstone is a very popular natural attraction in the lower falls and all. So yeah, it's going to be a busy place.
Yellowstone may be a busy place, but the park is better known for the solitude it offers, an escape from life's stresses.
It's a bit of a surprise and a shock for something like this to happen in a place like Yellowstone.
On Thursday, park officials say an armed individual fired at park rangers after allegedly making several threats. That quickly led to a shootout in Canyon Village, one of the busiest areas of the park.
One of those amazing rangers was injured. And it hurts when you hear that. And I don't know the individuals who were involved, but it very much hurts.
Rick Honinghausen is the marketing director for Xanterra, the largest concessionaire at Yellowstone. Xanterra operates the hotels, restaurants, and gift stores in Yellowstone and is also the park's largest employer. He estimates there were likely hundreds of people in the Canyon Village area when the shootout occurred, including dozens of seasonal employees.
This is a family as much as anything else. Whether you're a park service, whether you're a different concession, or whether you're us. You cannot work here for a few days even without starting to feel connections.
Counseling services were provided to those employees Friday, but many now are already back at work. Honinghausen is just thankful that no one else was injured and credits the National Park Service response.
Unending thanks and very impressed by how these people responded.
And Honinghausen says the 3,000 park employees all feel for the injured ranger.
Maybe at the same time, this place will also help provide some healing for those who were impacted by this. And our people find relief here. They find comfort here. They find a way to recover from things here.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
An annual camping trip with family and friends quickly turned into a long road to recovery with many unknowns for 62-year-old Mark Young after a jet ski crash. But his family and friends say he's resilient and are hopeful for a future of healing.
It all happened in an instant. A freak accident.
Pretty much T-boned. There's not much the other driver could have done.
And one that likely forever changed 62-year-old Mark Young's life.
Broken femur, broken tibia and fibula. His lungs were saturated with water. He does have a small puncture in his lung.
Jacob, Mark Young's son, wasn't at Cooney Reservoir when his dad was severely injured last Saturday, but says a family friend and a 10-year-old girl were on one jet ski while his father was on another when the two watercrafts collided, leaving Young gravely injured with a large wound on his leg.
There's no amputation as of yet. It is a fairly clean wound. It didn't mangle. The hard part is we're just kind of at a waiting game to see how, if anything turns out. Infections and stuff, but right now he's stable.
And that's all the family can ask for, hoping the loving father and grandfather continues to improve.
He's stubborn. He's still going. He's keeping strong. He's actually fluttering his eyes and actually responded to us, so that was awesome.
Just about the most caring guy you could find. He'll give you the shirt off his back if he could.
A man with a long journey ahead, but one that his family is grateful he's alive to see.
We would like to thank everybody who was out there. They did save his life.
In Billings, Haley Monaco, MTN News.
Tall grass and large forested areas like this one are at risk of burning during fire season. And that's why it's important to follow fire safety tips during the 4th of July and the rest of fire season.
Each of us has a responsibility to be smart with our sparks.
Western Montana is an area that is highly susceptible to wildfires, and with drier weather on the horizon, the fire risk will increase. Because many fires can be started by natural causes, Kristen Mortensen, the fire prevention specialist with Montana DNRC, says making your house wildfire ready is important.
Make sure that you've done everything you can to prepare your home. Your gutters are cleaned out. You've got debris off of the roof. You're making sure that you have a non-combustible zone around your home. So simple steps to prepare both your home and yourself for wildfire are a great way to prepare for wildfire season.
Mortensen also says around 75% of wildfires in Montana are human-caused, and they can be started in a variety of ways. Pete Giardino from Missoula Rural Fire lists improperly discarded cigarettes, trailer safety chains, and fireworks among some of the ways humans can start fires. Giardino also has tips for those who plan to use recreational fireworks during the 4th of July.
If you have to shoot fireworks off, do it in a safe location, away from structures, away from people, away from vehicles, away from dry grasses that can easily catch and start a wildland fire. I know that can be challenging given the growth Missoula has seen over the last several years, but fireworks are illegal within the city limits. They are prohibited on state and federal property, as well as county and city parks.
More information about fire safety and wildfire resources can be found on our website. In Missoula, Derek Joseph, MTN News.
You know, we know that in Big Sky we're 96% higher risk of wildfire than the rest of the nation.
The Big Sky Fire Department and 3 other community groups came together to form Alpenscapes. It's a group that promotes planting sustainable landscaping to reduce wildfire risk.
Initial 0 to 5 foot and that 0 to 30 foot landscaping around a structure is one of the most important things that determines whether or not a structure is going to be able to survive on its own.
Alpenscapes aims to educate homeowners on what to grow or decorate in their gardens.
You know, focus on that area of the home and to make that non-combustible.
As Montana dries up, the group also aims to promote water-wise plants to reduce water consumption.
Think about how wildfires start. Embers come in and they hit a home, right? And then they fall down next to the home.
Big Sky Fire Chief Dustin Tatro says that the biggest thing to avoid close to your home,
you know, nothing with needles, nothing with cones, obviously, kind of in that initial 5 foot.
Tatro also says that maintaining the plants in the 5 to 30 foot range is key to keeping plants from engulfing into flames.
Outwards of that 30 feet, you know, just trying to minimize that type of vegetation that's within that 30 foot space.
Tatro says that there are plants that help reduce wildfire risk and are still drought resistant.
It's chokecherries, aspens, and a lot of those, you know, more trees that hold their moisture.
Alpenscapes has a list of hundreds of plants that are optimal to grow in southwest Montana and still look good in lawns.
The Alpenscapes team has worked really tirelessly to go through and vet, hundreds and hundreds of plants to be able to give folks a really good list of plants to choose from.
Coming up after the break, we learn more about a new chairlift being constructed at Big Sky and some hiking safety tips. But first, it's time for some trivia. Montana's largest bear species is the grizzly bear. But do you know why we call them grizzly bears? Find out after the break.
We now return to MTN Outdoors.
Welcome back. So, do you know why we call them grizzly bears? First called grizzly by Meriwether Lewis and William Clark, many people think Ursus horribilis gets its name due to a grisly or horrid nature. In truth, Lewis and Clark called them grizzly because of their brown coats with silver tips, giving them an older or grizzled look. Grizzly bears are expanding across the state. FWP has confirmed a grizzly in southwest Montana, where there have not been grizzlies since grizzly recovery began. MTN's Chet Lehman takes us to the tobacco roots and talks about safety in bear country.
Grizzly bears have been expanding across the state. Recently, a private landowner in the Tobacco Root Mountains captured a grizzly bear on a trail camera. That is the first confirmed grizzly bear sighting in the Tobacco Root Mountains. All of this confirms what FWP has been saying. Anything west of Billings in Montana is now bear country.
We do have confirmation for the first time since grizzly bear recovery that there is grizzly bear presence in the Tobacco Root Mountains. So this is a new area with confirmed grizzly bear presence. So that in itself is new, but it doesn't change the bear safety practices that we recommend anywhere west of Billings in Montana.
Not surprisingly, expanding grizzly sightings have led to more frequent calls from people who venture out.
A common question that we get from both hunters and other recreationists is they call and say, am I going to encounter a grizzly bear in such and such drainage? And it's not a question we can answer other than, well, you should be prepared for a bear encounter no matter where you're recreating.
Jacobson stresses venturing out still possible and encouraged. The fact that you're in bear country only changes your preparation.
The last thing we want to happen is for people to think, well, there's one more place I can't go anymore. Nothing's further from the truth. These places are here for people to enjoy, and there's so much to enjoy about them. But how you approach that activity and that visit is important.
Bear spray, traveling in groups and making noise, and situational awareness like staying away from kill sites and paying attention to your surroundings. Make those tools as routine as carrying food and water on a long hike. Remember, you're in bear country. In Bozeman, Chet Lehman, MTN News.
It's out with the old and in with the new. I'm here in Big Sky at the Madison 8 chairlift. Well, just the construction of it, and it's going to be the longest 8-seater chairlift in the world.
This is the former location of the 6-shooter chairlift, which we are replacing this summer, and the new 8-seat chairlift will be open in December.
Stacy Harris is Big Sky's public relations manager. She says a change for the chairlift was far overdue.
This chairlift has been one of the most requested upgrades from all of our guests. This chairlift's on the north side of the mountain, so it is a bit shaded from the sun. So in the earlier months of the winter, in December, January, definitely feels a little cold.
However, the new and improved Madison 8 lift will be able to keep you and 7 of your friends toasty all year long.
The new chairlift will have weatherproof bubbles and heated seats to keep you nice and warm on the ride.
Heated seats and an 8-seater chairlift isn't a first for Big Sky.
Our guests come to expect these really amazing high-tech chairlifts that are really smooth, super quiet, really comfortable ride. And that's exactly what this lift is going to deliver.
Stacy says construction is well underway for an 8-month project, but all this work can't be done with just human power.
Pretty soon, in just a couple weeks, we'll have a helicopter come back, be pouring all the concrete foundations all the way up the line and up at the top terminal. And yeah, we'll definitely start to see the lift really come to life in the next couple weeks.
What is the price tag for such an endeavor? Stacy says she's unable to share that. In Big Sky, I'm Megan Elaine, MTN News.
Prickly Pear Land Trust just recently acquired nearly 1,500 acres in the Birdseye area.
I think that land protection is one of the most important things that we can do as Montanans to preserve our way of life and our quality of life in this state.
After receiving funds from Lewis and Clark County, PPLT acquired the nearly 1,500 acres known as Birdseye Ranch. Funds for the project come from the county, the Department of Defense, and the Montana Fish and Wildlife Conservation Trust. Adjacent to Fort Harrison, this land acquisition serves a twofold purpose. It helps in land conservation. It also leaves the fort's training activities uninterrupted, said Colonel Kelly Trainum, Construction and Facilities Management Officer for the Montana Army National Guard. On a tour of the ranch last time, we covered the efforts to acquire the land.
More houses, more neighbors could restrict on what we could do, how we can train, and maybe possibly even the hours we could train. So this, by having this in open space, allows us to continue our 24/7 training mission that we have.
Mary Hollow, Executive Director of PPLT, says that next steps include creating a management plan. Within that plan, they will continue to allow grazing of the land, which helps serve conservation efforts. They also plan to allow for public access to the adjacent thousands of acres of public lands.
Prickly Pear will work to develop a management plan that will help us figure out what is appropriate for public access. Definitely that'll be something seasonal, but at the very least, we'll figure out the management plan for the access. And then the priority for this project, of course, is the continuation of grazing and ranching on the property, as well as obviously keeping that land intact for the wildlife qualities that Birdseye has.
Reporting in Helena, Tom Buchanan, MTN News.
Hello there from the Lewis and Clark National Forest. Hiking is a fantastic pastime, especially in Montana. But even with good weather coming around, we should really think about some precautions for safety to make sure that we can enjoy our time on the trail. First and foremost, always plan ahead. Research the trail you plan to hike, check the weather forecast, in our case it was rather rainy, and let someone know your itinerary. According to the National Park Service, informing a friend or family member of your hiking plans can be a lifesaver, as nearly 1,000 search and rescue missions are conducted each year in national parks alone. Next, pack the essentials. This includes plenty of water. Experts recommend at least half a liter per hour of moderate activity and moderate temperatures. High-energy snacks, map, compass, GPS, first aid kit, maybe even a multi-tool are all good ideas. Appropriate clothing is crucial. Layers are key as weather conditions can change rapidly. When you're on the trail, stay on marked paths to avoid getting lost and to protect the environment. Keep an eye on your surroundings and be aware of wildlife, particularly bears. If you encounter a bear, make yourself look larger, make noise, and back away slowly. Never run. According to the National Park Service, bear encounters are rare but can be serious, so carrying bear spray is a recommended precaution. While you can go hiking on your own, it's a great idea to bring a hiking buddy with you. Mine was my daughter Elise. We certainly came across a few challenges, such as a river we had to ford, as well as lots of rain. But we did eventually make it to the lookout on Patrol Mountain for our hike. Around the bend. Finally, know your limits. The trail will be there another day. It's okay to turn back, try it again when the weather's better. In Lewis and Clark National Forest, I'm James Rowan, MTN News.
Coming up after the break, it's Rodeo Life, and we see how a company is making waves in Montana.
We now return to MTN Outdoors.
Welcome back. To quote Garth Brooks, it's bulls and blood, it's the dust and mud, it's the roar of a Sunday crowd. There is nothing quite like the rodeo as a family. Scott Breen can attest.
Hi everybody, Scott Breen here in Cody, Wyoming, where they call it the rodeo, capital of the world, and why not? Some families show up to make a night of it, while others, as we found out, make a full summer of it in competition.
Ready, jump.
These are the Steagulls, and this is their summer home, much to the delight of one-year-old daughter Steely.
Hey! She says hey now.
A flat spot next to the rodeo grounds where they set up camp with everything they need for 3 months of living. Lots of toys, dogs, and especially horses included.
I guess you'd say 4.5, because we got 4 rodeo horses, and then we have a little pony for our daughter.
We have Dixie, the wiener dog, and Mila, which is a mini blue heeler.
The Steagulls actually call Arizona home, but they make the long haul north to desert the desert heat and settle in to compete all summer long at just one spot, the Cody Night Rodeo.
Having the ability to rodeo every single night, you really can't beat that.
Young and ambitious, a full summer in tight quarters can certainly be challenging, from Bighorn Mountain thunderstorms to meals to the simplicity of just keeping clean clothes.
We do the laundromat. It's an all-day ordeal.
Even since college, I've kind of been the laundry sorter. I'm very particular in how I like to wash the laundry, so.
One benefit of staying put, though, is avoiding diesel prices, which can add up in a hurry.
Yeah, that definitely hurts. One of the biggest expenses, I think, being on the road. That and tires.
Though they don't have to drive to work now, Ariana and Justin both keep remote day jobs. She is a legal assistant, he as an insurance adjuster.
We're grateful to be able to work that way, but in another sense it's been an adjustment trying to learn to work in coffee shops and small places.
They recently bought Starlink for high-speed internet straight to the camper.
Mila!
Once the day jobs are done, it's back to campground chores. Off to feed those 4.5 horses.
Here you go. Got it?
Enjoy a quick ride. And then Mom and Dad aim to tighten their skills and win some nightly money.
I breakaway and team rope. I head for my husband. He heels for me.
been our passion, and since college and before college, it's fun to still get to do that.
Justin is also a tie-down roper, so 2 events apiece.
You can really come up here and, make some money at the end of the summer. So we come up here to basically make an extra income.
All summer long, wash, rinse, and repeat.
You do have to love it because it's a lot. Good job.
In Cody, Scott Breen, MTN Sports.
Here at the Oasis, summer is in full swing with the new Rip Break Wave Rider, the first in North America right here in Montana, and it's surfing up fun for all ages.
Riding it's a lot of fun. Yeah. It's very difficult, but to start, but once you get it down, it's really fun.
Surfing might not be the first thing that comes to mind when thinking of activities in Montana.
You have to travel miles to have an experience like this, and right here in Billings, in our landlocked little city, we can actually go ride a wave, so it's pretty exciting.
A new wave surfer at Oasis Water Park in the Heights is making it possible. The Rip Rider is an artificial wave machine that allows anyone to surf on flowboards. Chuck Barthuli, the park's director of operations, says that this is the first of its kind in North America.
We couldn't be more thrilled to open it up to the public for this really unique experience.
A team from Belgium travels all across the world to install these wave surfers.
We are unique in this way that we are the only one worldwide who do the engineering, the design, the production, the installation, and also the training. Also, we have our own operation facilities.
They spent 12 days in Billings and assisted the 3-day staff training at Oasis.
I'm extremely happy with Montana, the way how they experience as a complete community. People are so nice, so let's say there is interaction, and also the instructors was amazing. It's one of the best groups we ever had for training.
With many hoping to be the first to try it.
Seems like this new ride has taken the attraction, so it's been a lot of fun.
Barthuli hopes that this new addition to the park will add more fun for an older demographic as well as all ages that visit.
The hope was that we would just be a place where families can all come and create those lasting fun memories that just leaving that indelible mark on their childhood, where remember the times we got to go to Oasis and ride the Rip.
Little kids up to people as old as myself and older. I mean, there's some older guys on there riding it, and they seem to have a lot of fun. And there's not a lot of pain involved with it, so I think you could have fun.
Surfing in Billings, Isabel Sparts, MTN News.
Well, thanks so much for joining me on this week's episode of MTN Outdoors. We hope you enjoyed yourself on this trek across the state. Until next time, get out there, have fun, and stay safe. Bye for now.